Coaches, Rick Stewart of All Access Coaching. I'm really excited to bring you this free video, and make sure you hit the subscribe and like button down below. It gives us valuable data as far as what coaches want. And also, if I can get to 1,000 subscribers, I'll start doing weekly YouTube clinics for free. And if you hit the like and subscribe button, you'll get notified when we upload new content. We're uploading 3 or 4 videos every week.
All right, let's talk about drive block, okay? Everything that we do is based off drive block fundamentals. Whether it's a base block, whether it's a combo block, whether it's a down block, whether it's a back block, all right? The fundamental doesn't change. We still talk about a power triangle, all right? Our lead step, no matter what the angle is going to get us in the right direction. The second step is going to reestablish power and base, and our target may change. If we're going to drive block, I tell those guys you put your face right down the middle of their chest. All right. If it's a down block, hey, we're going to aim for the hip. All right. Because we're in 3-point stances all the time. We don't do any kind of 2-point stance work. Everything's 3-point stances. So our aiming point is going to be the near hip on a down block. Okay. Or whether it's a secondary block or a second level block running through a linebacker. All right. If he's outside that 5-yard range, which is killing football right now. But if they've got to take a linebacker on and plug, hey, the power triangle is still there. The other particulars about a drive block with us, we don't roll hips. All right, we're not hip rollers. We are going to stay in drive phase until the whistle blows, and we'll accelerate our feet when we hear that. But we are not going to roll our hips. We're not going to press guys off. We really don't work that fundamental. We're going to be flat back. We're going to allow our hips, all right, to drive our shoulders and our eyes, okay? So these are the things. This drill right here, I call this drive block progression. This is something that I do the first 2 days of training camp every year, okay? And I try to do the full fundamental. It takes me about 20 minutes because those first couple days we have everybody involved. It's before we send our scout guys out of there. So it takes about 20 minutes, but it's drive block progression. The other thing about this is we can revisit this every Sunday is what we'll do during the season. I'll go back and we'll do this every Sunday in our practice because we do wear helmets and we have an actual practice on Sundays. We're not like just a correction in special teams. You know, we're going fundamentals. We are doing special teams. We have some team operations out there too. So, and we will do this every Sunday. And then Tom and I, we feel, hey, if we're not getting off the ball well enough, all right, we'll go back or striking our opponents. We'll go back and we'll work the 2-hand step punch. All right. If we feel we're engaging our opponents well, all right, but we're not keeping our pad level down, we'll go back into the hip drill. And these are the portions of this thing that I'll explain here in a second. But these are things that I did in college back in 1987 that have always stuck with me. And it's about putting our screws down the middle of people's chests and just moving bodies, okay? All right, these are just some drive block examples. Again, carry over from the drill. You take a look at the right guard here. That's the same young man that was in the video we just watched. All right, but you talk about, you know, hand strike, lead step, second step, direction, power base, power triangle, aiming point. He does a real good job here of getting movement off the football. The timing's there. Not a bad job on a 3 technique. Get a good look here at the back copy. Pretty good job getting his eyes to the chest. Could use a little bit more arm swing, but he's got good base, and he's a strong young man. But a good job at just singling up a 3 technique here. And I'll kind of move on here a little bit. I'm going to go back and talk about, you know, we talk about breaking glass, and I do have some of those fundamentals in here. But this is where that break glass step comes in that we used as our 3rd fundamental lead step that we use every day. You watch their elbows break the glass and get those hips open. All right, doesn't matter the angle. But they've got to get that hip open. This backside guard's doing a good job of getting through the scoop. And the right tackle does a good job. He watches his right elbow. I'm sorry, the left tackle rips that elbow. All right, scoops that B gap. So good job on that fundamental as well. All right, now, the left tackle here, he gets weight roomed a little bit. All right, but I put this on here because he does very good job with his fundamentals. All right, sometimes you can't make up for weight room or weight differences and things like that. But this is a good rep by this young man right here. You watch the inside lead step, the high elbows, the second step, chest of the defender. Really good job fundamentally. He gets handled a little bit, but that's okay. All right, he's coming off the football. He was only about 245, somewhere in there, I think. Long guy. You know, you're not asking your tackles in a triple option offense to do a lot of base blocking all the time, but it's not a bad job right there, fundamentally. All right, these are some examples I'm going to use here. You look at the center, and you go back to the left tackle. Again, this is a back block. This is the down block. All right? It doesn't matter what the angle. The fundamentals are still there. The lead step. All right? Direction. Second step, power and base. Two-step punch. Screws down the middle of the defender. All right? It doesn't matter. In this case, the left tackle will be on the hip. The center will be here in the center mass of the shade here. Let's take a look at the center first. Pretty good job. You see the left-hand punch, kind of gets him going. Does a pretty good job at finishing this thing. That's all we need on a back block, right? Don't let your center get driven back into the mesh. I'm okay with that. You watch the break glass fundamental here by the left tackle. You see him rip the elbow. You see him get his hip open, toe, get him in the right direction. Second step, power and base, aiming point, hip, bottom of the rib cage. But there's nothing different about this block than there is a drive block when you teach the fundamental the same every time. Direction and aiming point might change, but the fundamental of it is not. All right, let's talk about combo blocks here. All right, so our combo call is the play side tackle and guard combination. All right. So what we're going to do here, we're going to get the heavy bags back out again. The nice part about this is it's more drive block work for your guards. Those are the guys. Those are your dirt mongers. You know, those are those pigs in there that need to be able to handle those guys inside. All right. So you get more drive block work for your guards. All right. This here is a non-violent drill for these tackles. Okay. What we are trying to do here is establish a track. All right. A muscle memory track. Anytime you have a young guy and you talk about double teams, what's the first thing a guy that uncovered or your drive guy on a double team wants to do? He wants to get his shoulders turned and obliterate that three technique or whatever it is they're working against, right? As a guard, it could be a nose guard, okay? So what we're trying to do here is teach our tackles a track, all right? They are responsible for the B gap. If there is a hip in the B gap, eliminate it. Make him a 2, make him a 2I. I don't care, all right? But then you have your eyes to the linebacker, all right? If the guard snatches up the 3 technique or he squeezes and becomes a 2, then the tackle is on the same track. Now he can get to his linebacker and not have to chase and then redirect and come back off. So right now, all we're doing is teaching a tackle a muscle memory foot pattern, all right? There's nothing violent about this. What he's going to do is he's just going to track the bag, all right? He has to stay. His hip on this bag, he can only get off as fast as the guard allows him to go, all right? And then we have a defender back here. He waits till that this guy's ass gets to him, and then he just pops out. It's a nonviolent drill for these guys, all right? So when we talk about this, it's a near foot double team now. So this is our left side. The left guard is going to step with his left foot. The left tackle is going to step with his right foot, all right? 2 6-inch steps. I talk about third step. The third step, the gap should close on the tackle's third step, all right? The guard is just drive block fundamentals. I tell them, hey, you are singled, you are basing. You've got to trust that your tackle is going to help you. Hey, he'll make him a 2 technique. He'll get him back to you if he skates, all right? But you've got to trust it. You may have to chase it a little bit before the tackle can get back to you. But, hey, your lead step, second step punch, your drive. Face down the middle, put your screws through there, and let's go and trust that your tackle is going to be there for you, all right? And then the tackle, we want this thing to close down on 3, hip to hip, shoulder to shoulder, and you'll watch him track the back. He gets a little deep here, but he had some violence issues where he always wanted to do something to hurt someone. So I didn't have a complaint. So you watch the lead step. He's reduced. You see the knee turn? All right, does a good job of getting the knee down. He's reducing his shoulder a little bit because he knows there could be a 5 technique here. All right, good fundamental. Guard does a pretty good job of engaging. Again, late second step. Again, need to do a better job there. But there's the drive. He's on the hip. All right, I tell these tackles or guards, the same fundamental on an ace. Look, if there's anything in your gap, eliminate it. If not, track vertical on your 4th step. Close the gap on 3, vertical on 4. You'll see him just pop off on the linebacker later. All right, our right tackle here does a better job. Where that left tackle there, he kind of shoved that bag inside. You don't need that. You just want to track this thing. This guy does a pretty good job of getting on the bag. Guard does a pretty good job with second step and punch. He does a good job of coming off on the linebacker. Nice and low and tracking. That's all it is. All right, here's some carryover. Good example here. Let's go to the right side. All right, we got the right guard, the right tackle here working a combo. This first example is where the tackle does a great job of delivering the 3 technique back to the guard. All right, all while still tracking vertical on 4, looking at the Mike linebacker here. He gets his right arm involved a little bit, but he never really closes his hips off. His hips are always square. All right, and this guy right here, the right tackle, he wasn't a real strong guy. All right, and this was a big dude. So he felt he needed a little outside help. And honestly, if it doesn't take him off track to the linebacker and he can get off the thing, I'm okay with it. All right, but don't make a habit of it. Because you get them shoulders turning, that mic starts moving, you're going to have to redirect, and it's going to be tough. But he does a really nice job here delivering this thing back. All right, now you can see in this example where the guard snatches the 3 technique, the tackle does a really good job of just staying on his track. There's no hip to eliminate like the last rep. So he's just going to go ahead and track through up to the Mike linebacker. But again, you watch this tackle's foot pattern. All right, he's vertical the whole way through. His shoulders are square. Does a good job there. The guard helps too, being able to snatch that guy up. All right, now this third example is one where that 3 technique plays heavy. All right, so the tackle can't deliver him back because he's playing so heavy in the B gap, and his hip is still there. So they're going to take this guy all the way back to the linebacker in this example. Do a pretty good job. You see him kind of play towards the tackle, trying to take this thing on. So the tackle stays on. He's got to stay on this guy. All right, if the guy's playing heavy, I always say you can't leave your guard unless you eliminate that defender. So he knows he hasn't eliminated him. And again, you tell the guard, you better chase that 3 technique if he widens. Trust that your tackle is going to allow you to catch up to it. All right, help secure the B gap. But as you can see, they take this 3 technique back to the linebacker, do a pretty good job of it. He gets off a little bit late, and the linebacker gets in. But honestly, if he had been too fast and we had never established that first level drive portion, it wouldn't have mattered. All right, that's a tackle for a loss or a 0 gain right here. At least the dent that they got on the 3 technique allowed us to get to the second level and into the end zone.
Coaches, I really hope you got some great information from that YouTube video. Again, hit the subscribe and like button down below. It gives us valuable data. And if I get to 1,000 subscribers, I'll do free YouTube clinics. And you also get notified when I'm doing those YouTube clinics and when I upload new content to this channel. Thanks for watching, coaches.